Allen wants to go. Wants the baseline. Fade away. Yes! He's way too good. He steps around Lou and drilled it. And the Sixers have scored 9 in a row. 7 straight points by Iverson. Looked like he was sailed the water. The Sixers by 4.
All right, and welcome to the Sports Skillet Show. This is our weekly show. We want to thank the Heat Ratio for hosting us, as they do each and every week. And we want to thank you for taking time out of your July 4th weekend. We want to wish everybody a happy July 4th. Hope you're having a great time, and we'll have a great time enjoying the fireworks, barbecue, the weekend off, and taking time out of your weekend to spend it with the Sports Skillet Show. Thank you so very much. Remind you, you can find us all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whole 9 yards. All you have to do is search for Sports Skillet. Will pop up, and you can join us there. I am Jay, and as always, I am joined by Mike Nebbia, Alex Secchia, and the coach, Shane McGowan. Shane, can you let everybody know how they can find you?
You can reach me at Mental Edge Performance. Oh, can you hear
there
me?
we go. There you go. Yep, I got
right,
you.
MentalEdgePerformance.ca and mental_edge_performance on the social media. How's everybody doing on this 4th of July today?
We are doing spectacular. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing all right. Just trying to work on my sports YouTube channel.
There you go. All right. And
I'm taking inspiration from Surf from the Six and Rocha Entertainment on YouTube, doing sports commentary for games.
Nice. Very good. So give Mike a follow there. And I guess this week
it would be at Mad Mike Sports on YouTube.
Mad Mike Sports. All right. Love it. So this week we will start off with some NBA talk. We have the NBA Finals all set up for us. We have the Phoenix Suns. They're going to be hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. We will get to our pick segment in a minute. But, Shane, what do you think of this matchup? Milwaukee against Phoenix.
Well, I mean, first off, I think Milwaukee comes in there. Apparently right now they're the underdogs at under 5 there. So
yeah,
I kind of will differ a little bit. And I think that's just because of Giannis's injury, because we don't know the status of him just yet. You know what I mean? But I have a feeling because the game isn't going to be played until Tuesday, he will be ready to go and game on and things like that. So that my prediction is this game's going to go 7. I think they're going to go 7 for this one too. I think it's just going to keep going back and forth in many ways. Phoenix is also banged up between Booker's nose and Chris Paul's hand as well, because he had a bad hand out there too. So everyone's going to be banged up, but they're healing up right now. So I think it's going to be a good series in that way. But like I said, this last series with Atlanta, it took them right down to the wire, but they did do it without Giannis. They did beat a broken up Atlanta team too with Trae Young and his foot and everything like this. But you got to give Milwaukee a lot of credit because their bench came out and played hard. They played well. They played a lot of minutes, and they got production from these guys. And I think that was a huge, huge win for them in this way, carrying on. And again, too, this is going to be one of those unique NBA finals where these teams haven't been there for quite some time.
Absolutely. And Mike, what do you think of the matchup?
Well, this is peak 2020s right here. Expect the unexpected, let them out for 2020, and we're getting the unexpected right now with Milwaukee and the Suns. This is going 7, no question about it. This is going right into July 22nd, and someone is going to get their first title. If Giannis is even 70%, this is definitely going 7. If not, I say that it'll be the Phoenix Suns in 5 games. # Rally the Valley.
And Alex, what do you think of this matchup, Phoenix?
Is Giannis going to play in Game 6?
We don't know. I mean, I think
Trae
Game 1 is July 8th.
I think Trae Young's already ruled in.
Wait. Alex, where are you?
No, Alex, we're talking about the NBA
We're talking
Finals.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're talking NBA Finals.
Milwaukee versus the Phoenix Suns. So do you think Giannis is going to play, Alex? Do you think he's going to be sitting out still? What do you think?
I sent him out.
You sit him out, even if
Send
he
him out for game 1? Really?
Yeah. There's 7 games. Yes, I'm sending you out game 1.
Interesting.
Well, that'd be a Suns win.
I would say so. I think if Giannis sits out, I think definitely that would give the Suns a huge advantage, right, Shane?
Well, it definitely makes things a lot easier for Ayton out there. That's for sure. At the center position, because you don't have this big man coming charging at you. You know what I mean? And like I said, I mean, Middleton and Drew Holiday definitely showed that they can take the team a lot. Brook Lopez also as well. I mean, great plays from him throughout this series too. But I mean, and Bobby Portis. But I think if you're going to eliminate Giannis, that's going to create a little bit more of a faster Phoenix team. And I think that's something too that you don't want. I think Phoenix runs the ball fast when they play small like that, and they do create a lot of havoc in that way too. So you got to be careful of how they want to play this. And I think they're going to look back at the Clippers situation, because when the Clippers had their center playing before he injured himself as well, they didn't do too bad. You know what I mean? And you know, Tylon, he made some things happen. You know what I mean? He was fast on the bench like that to do something. So not having Giannis would be a huge part, I think, where Milwaukee would really have their backs against the wall, and they're already the underdogs going into this. So I think having them is more of an advantage, but I guess we'll wait.
Yeah, I agree, and I want to let everybody know you can also comment on our social media. We will see it. I want to thank DVA Mechanics for joining us on this July 4th weekend. Thank you, DVA. Again, if you want to comment, let us know your predictions for the NBA Finals. Feel free to post them. Alex, who you got in the NBA Finals? Do you have Phoenix, or do you have the Milwaukee Bucks? Alex.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The Suns.
Yeah, Alex has the Phoenix Suns. I also have the Phoenix Suns. I think it will be the Phoenix Suns in 6. I don't think there's going to be a 7th game. I'm going to go
Suns in 7. Rally the Valley.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go 7. I think Phoenix. I just think the West is a little bit stronger. I know the Bucks are really good, but I like the Phoenix Suns coming out of the West in this one. What do you think, Shane?
I'm going to take the Bucks. I'll go against everyone. I'll take the Bucks on this one.
All right. And some other NBA news that came out this week. It is the beginning with the NBA Finals, and most of the other teams being eliminated. You're going to get silly season starting, and one of the things that came out this past week is a alleged Sixer trade that got turned down that involved the Sixers giving up their all-star point guard Ben Simmons, and in return getting back Malcolm Brogdon and a number 1 pick. Alex, you laugh at that. Would you have done the trade?
I saw that Ben Simmons is worth like no picks at this point. His stock is so far down, it's crazy. It's like his stock right now is comparison when COVID first hit and all the companies crashed and like everything crashed. Like that's where Ben Simmons' stock is at right now. You're not going to get nothing for Ben.
So would you have done the trade if that trade was proposed, or would you have held out for a better offer?
If I'm the Sixers, I'm trying to get rid of Ben. If I'm a team getting Ben for a first-round pick, I'm not doing it. Here's what I would do. I would wait a little bit. Off season, make a couple highlight videos of Ben Simmons working out, see him shooting a couple threes and three throws and making them, make it look better, kind of hype the crowd up a little bit, hype everyone up. Oh, Ben's really working. He's getting better. Give it a couple games into the regular season, and then you got to get rid of him. Or no, right, you got to get rid of him. You got to build it up. You got to build his stock back up and then get rid of him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying last week, is that I think Ben Simmons is going to start out this, unless the Sixers get overwhelmed with an offer like a Godfather offer that they would be absolutely idiotic to refuse. I think Ben Simmons starts the season on the Sixers, and they move him at the trading deadline after he's able to rebuild his stock a little bit.
I don't think anyone puts an offer for Simmons.
What did you think about this offer, Shane?
Well, there's the trade rumors are flying around like no tomorrow, and I'm talking big names from Dame Lillard and everybody like that. There was another gossip one came out about Dame Lillard going to the Sixers, but they want Tobias Harris and some other pieces.
No.
So that's something that's floating around right now as well. And then there's also Dame going to the Knicks, which is also floating around. But the trade for Ben, there's also another one that's floating to Chicago for that other. I forget who's there.
Martin?
That fella, not who's that?
Lauri Markkanen.
Chicago. No. They're talking about Levine.
Zach Levine.
Yes, Levine for Simmons over there in Chicago. So there's a couple of these that are floating around.
That is not happening.
Anything can happen in the NBA. So that's what I mean, because these guys have to offset their guys. They want to shake things up too. You can't keep Dame and CJ in Portland. So that's another one that's going to be very key to watch and see what happens there. But like I said, there's a lot that's been happening more or less of also Tobias Harris being on the move as well too. So don't be shocked if that transpires and people are caught off guard with that one.
Yeah, I mean, if they could get Damian,
but I would have taken Brogdon though. I would have taken Malcolm Brogdon.
You would have done the trade then. I would have considered it. I don't know if the Sixers are going to get a much better offer than that for Ben. I mean, considering what he did in the playoffs, like Alex was just saying, I mean, his stock right now is absolutely rock bottom. I don't think it could get any worse than what it is right now. And I would think that I don't know what kind of offers the Sixers are going to get for Ben. So, I mean, I know they want to get Damian Lillard on the team. I think he would work well with Joel Embiid as a very good 1-2 punch. But I don't know if they're going to get a whole lot better than that trade offer. I really don't. I mean, I would have definitely considered it. Absolutely.
If you would have taken that trade as an example, if you take that trade and then you're able to flip Tobias over to Portland for Dame as well. So now you're bringing Brogdon, you're bringing Dame, you got MB. I mean, you actually might have quite a very competitive team.
That would be tremendous. Like I said, I don't know I don't know if they would want Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard, if Ben Simmons would have to be part of that trade or not. If it's not, and Ben Simmons could be packaged in another trade, and you're talking about moving some other parts, like maybe a Maxey, and some other pieces, then I would definitely do that. I mean,
those pieces are already on the trade block too.
Yeah.
No, you should have taken that offer from Indiana and taken Brogdon in a first round, and then flip Harris over to Portland with a couple of pieces and get Dame.
Yeah, like maybe Maxey, Tobias Harris, Maxey, and I don't know what else. Maybe the Sixers first round pick. I mean, that might have worked as well. And then you get Damian.
You could have flipped. You could have flipped if Indiana's first round pick go to the Sixers. You could have flipped that pick over to Portland too.
That's true too. What do you think, Mike?
I'm gonna have to go with Shane McGowan on this one. Just wait until Simmons' stock rises. Make a highlight video of him. Play him a few games in the regular season, and see if you can deal him at the trade deadline.
Yep, that's what kind of I've been saying. But unless you get overwhelmed. But you bring up a very good point. If you could have gotten both of those, Shane, that would be tremendous. Damian, both those guys would be tremendous on the Philadelphia 76ers. And again, we want to let you guys know. You can comment in our comment section. Let us know what you think about the NBA championship game. Who do you think is going to win the series? Will it be the Phoenix Suns or will it be the Milwaukee Bucks? I guess now we are going to flip it over and talk some. We'll talk some NFL. We got some big stories we're going to get to, but let's get to the NFL right now. We've got a couple of NFL stories coming out. We've got Hard Knocks featuring the Dallas Cowboys debuting Tuesday, August 10th at 10 p.m. What do you guys think about the Dallas Cowboys being featured in Hard Knocks this season? I'll start with Alex on this one.
The first thing that always comes to my mind is when Des Bryant got to a fight years ago on the Cowboys during the training camp, and the two teams, I think it was them and the Titans that were going at it.
Yeah.
In the practice, that's what I thought of. I mean, I like Hard Knocks. I think it's fun. I like the show. I like whenever I see a new team. I'm excited for it. I'm just excited for it, honestly. Whether you're a Cowboys fan or not.
Now, how often do you think Jerry Jones is going to worm his way onto the TV screen?
He'll probably be like Stan Lee, make a cameo. Like, how Stan Lee makes his cameos in all his Marvel movies? Yeah. Jerry Jones is going to make a cameo in every – he's going to make a scene, or he's going to make his presence in every single episode.
I hear that. What do you think, Shane? Dallas on Hard Knocks, the Cowboys.
I think it's gonna jinx them even worse because everybody that goes on Hard Knocks doesn't do well after. So I mean, like I said, you're gonna see some things, you're gonna hear some things, and you're gonna definitely get Jerry Jones more involved and doors closing behind the doors and all this other stuff like that. It's gonna be now the point is though, is Jerry Jones also gonna be upset because the Cowboys don't look very good on the show, which is another thing because he is very much about image, you know what I mean? So they may butter it up a little bit in some things too, which may not bring up the actual true reality of those players and what that organization's like. So that's what I'm going to be more interested in seeing too, of how they portray some of that stuff, because you can't sugarcoat it, man. They got problems just like everyone else will have in the locker rooms and stuff. And that's the reality of what the show is supposed to be. But if you're trying to buttercup it and say, this is the best organization in the world, we do nothing wrong, everybody loves me, blah, 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 then the show's going to suck. You know what I mean? Like I said,
exactly. I completely agree with you. You gotta have more of the reality, the nitty gritty, and show the good with the bad. Absolutely.
Exactly. You got to have that raw. It's got to be raw out there at times. And you got to see the frustrations. You got to see the problems. You got to see these guys getting banged up at certain times on the drill and realizing that, you want to see them look like they're ready to compete out there and that they want to compete in that division and players trying to make the team. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to get at with that too. But if you're going to, like I said, just butter it up too much and make yourself, well, this is the Cowboys, we can't have a bad image, then I think people are just going to call them very fake and phony. So it's going to be an interesting part here to see exactly how far Jerry Jones goes with this on his role. But I like I said, as players, they're going to do what they got to do and stuff. So we'll see.
Exactly. And Mike, what do you think about the Cowboys on Hard Knocks?
Now, I have not seen Hard Knocks, but I know of the Hard Knocks curse. It's about as worse as the Madden curse. I think it's going to jinx the Cowboys even further.
Well, that can help out your team and my team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nothing can help your team, Jay. It's Washington's division.
And Shane, you had a good question before we went on air for me.
I did, and it came down to this, as this was brought up today or during the week on the NFL Insiders, basically ranking all the teams and seeing exactly where they should be placed, top 5, 10, 15, 20, and we came up to yours, the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're ranked 29th. And you look at some of the things that they've done, trades, letting go, as well as bringing on within the draft too and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that placing of 29th is actually warranted at this time for your team?
I think it probably is because, and I said this before we went on the air, you could put them anywhere in the mid to late 20s, I think, just because there is so much uncertainty about this team. Now, Nick Sirianni, the head coach, is starting to grow, I think, on some people in the Philadelphia area as a head coach, his energy, the way he talks. Now, but again, that's just talk. That's just energy being displayed. I think that you look at the Eagles team as it's constructed. Yes, they're getting their offensive line back. Yes, there's going to be a training camp battle at left tackle, which is, I think, going to be really good. But there's so much uncertainty. We don't know once what is it? The rubber hits the road, so to speak. We don't know how well this coaching staff is going to perform once the red light goes on and the season starts and the pressure's on to win out of the 17-game season. We don't know how well these guys are going to perform. We don't know how well Nick Sirianni is going to handle that pressure, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, the coaching staff. How well will they relate to the players? What's going to happen when the Eagles lose the game? Will the Eagles become fractured? We don't know what's going to happen with this Eagle team. And again, you have some veterans still on the team that their careers are starting to wind down a little bit. And if they want to get to another Super Bowl, it's going to be within the next couple of years. So there's pressure there. Will Zach Ertz be a member of the Philadelphia Eagles going forward? He's still on the team. He's still being paid by the Eagles. He was, there was rumors that he might have gotten traded before the draft, during the draft. June 1st, that's a big day when, you can move salaries and defer them. When it comes to the salary cap, nothing happened with Zach Ertz. He's still on the team. Eagles have apparently set a bar. What that bar is, whether it be a first-round pick, second-round pick, third-round pick, we don't, there's rumors, what they're asking for in return for Zach. But they even let Zach's agent try and negotiate a trade. But Zach Ertz is still on the team. Will they just outright release him? And that will create an opening on their at tight end for the Eagles. There's so much uncertainty right now regarding this Eagle team. I don't think you could rank them higher than, mid to late 20s, with these other teams that have questions about them, that have maybe changed their head coaches as well, like the New York Jets, teams like that have gone through a coaching change. They're all within that, 25 to, 30, 31 group. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think I'm not surprised at the ranking pretty high. One thing I saw was the Browns. I believe they're ranked third or fourth. They're definitely in the top 5. The Browns, right? Third or fourth.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
I get it. Their team on paper looks amazing. It looks amazing. But everyone keeps hyping the Browns up. I cannot wait for the Browns to make it to the first round of the playoffs and lose. And everyone I get to talk to about NFL or anything has Browns going to the Super Bowl, Browns winning, rankings drop. They're ranked third and fourth. I'm like, come on, man. We got to get off the train a little bit. My Patriots are ranked at 18. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Almost made it to the 50% marker, but I'm okay with it. You see why we were ranked there. I'm okay with it. But I can't wait for the Browns to fall off. I feel like most of the rankings are honestly pretty correct. I feel like I would have listed the Cardinals higher. I think the Cardinals were listed at 22. I think their defense is very strong, especially when it comes to swapping out players. For example, J.J. Watt, if you don't use him every down, you use him as a positional role player, it's going to be very good. You keep a lot of your guys energized, ready to go. No one gets tired out. I would have ranked the Cardinals a little bit higher on the list, to be honest with you. Other than that, yeah, Jay, your Eagles have no hope. This is Jalen Hurts' first season as a starter. Nick Sirianni's first season as a head coach. I don't think the expectations for the Eagles are that high for the reasons you said earlier. There's so much that have to mix. And not to mention, let's throw the injuries in it. You have one of the most injury-prone teams in the league.
That's true.
So you never know how the season's going to unfold. I do think if the Eagles have a losing season, and nothing too bad, nothing like 5-12 or something like that, I think it'll be understandable. But if they have a very, very tank season, you're going to see people upset. But I don't think people should be upset if you're missing 500 by 1 or 2 games.
Oh, I agree with you. What do you think, Mike?
I'm going to have to agree. The Eagles at 29th. One, I was not expecting that, but I kind of think it's warranted because there are so many unknowns with the Eagles that I can't see them being placed any higher right now. We'll just have to see how the season turns out.
I agree. And do we know what the Giants were ranked in there?
Yep. I can give it to you right now. The Giants are ranked 19th.
19th. Interesting.
That's a very crazy number. That's a very crazy number to give them 19.
I still think their quarterback is kind of iffy. What do you think, Alex?
Danny Dimes is not looking to be the guy for me. If I'm a Giants fan, people, you can argue Sterling Shepard go, free up cap room, give him more and try and make something different happen with him, especially he has a little bit of an injury problem. But I don't know. I don't think Danny Dimes is the guy. You're going to have Saquon Barkley coming back. If I'm being honest, I would have flipped the Cardinals and Giants at that rate. Make the Cardinals a little bit higher so if they're 2 steps away from on that list. But I think the Giants have a lot more problems. Huh?
You got a scarier problem there when the Cowboys are ranked number 8 is what they gave. And I'm thinking to myself going, you're going to give the Cowboys 8th?
They remember Dak Prescott broke that leg, right?
Yeah, no, they didn't, I guess. That's why they gave him 8th. But like I said, it is absolutely crazy. That's what I'm saying is you look at these sheets, and I know on paper things look good, and you talked about that before, Alex, and things like that. But right now, if you're going to rank the Cowboys 8th and Washington only around 12th, I believe, you got some problems here. You know what I mean? And especially coming from one of the weakest, if not the weakest division out there, okay? There's a lot more teams that got a lot more firepower inside of them that should be way, way higher than that, and they didn't put them there. So, like I said, it's kind of funny on some of these rankings, but some of them I can project and say, you're roughly in that era. You know what I mean? 29th, 28th, whatever it is, and things like that. But to give the Cowboys number 8 has just gotten Jerry Jones' head even bigger than what it already is. You know what I mean? And to me, I think it's that's a big cry and a big stretch to give them that.
Yeah,
I agree. We don't know, and the thing is, we don't know how Dak Prescott is going to come back off that injury. He should be the old Dak Prescott again, but again, until we see him in training camp, until we see him a little bit in the preseason and into the regular season, we don't know how well he's going to come back off that injury. Now, yes, he's getting some members of his offensive line back, same as the Eagles, and yes, he's got Ezekiel Elliott and that offensive firepower. But again, the big thing with Dallas was their defense last year. So will the defense be improved enough to justify that ranking? That's questionable too.
Yeah, it could be.
And I think that's going to be the biggest downfall of that team. Right now, look at Dak. Dak, from what I understand, is doing quite well with everything. He's moving really good. No problems. Okay, this is a guy that's got all the things there for him to do well as his body heals and things like that. you can't project what's going to happen on that O-line with protection and things happening and breaking down, and that was another problem that they had even when Dak was playing and then when he wasn't. I mean, that O-line was getting beaten up by other defenses, and that's not going to change, okay? Now their defensive side, they've got some of the worst corners, gave up so many big plays, on so many teams that you just didn't project. And like I said, they haven't necessarily even addressed to fix that problem yet. You know what I mean? And that's where they're going to get eaten alive. So, yeah, you could have that great offense that's getting you a good amount of chunk of yardage, all this. But if your defense is giving up way too much, you're not going to win. It's simple as that. And I think this is where they're going to start to find a lot of problems, is saying, well, our offense is doing well, we're competitive, we're in the games. Our defense is the one that's killing us out there. And like I said, so ranked 8th overall as a team, you're not ranked 8th overall as a team. You've got way too many weaknesses on defense to even be in that margin like that, in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yep. And Mike, what are your thoughts?
Again, Green was saying you're just not ranked that high enough on defense to be an overall top team. You need to be ranked high on offense and defense to be an overall top team. That's what we're seeing from the Bucks. That's what we are seeing from the Chiefs.
Yep.
We're not seeing that out of the NFC East.
Yep. And Alex, you brought up the Redskins previously. They were just fined $10 million, and we had Daniel Snyder removed from day-to-day operations for a period of time. What are your thoughts, Alex, on the $10 million fine and Dan Snyder being removed? And do you think it was too light, or should it have been more severe?
No, I mean, I don't think it was too late. I feel like everyone's adults. You know what you're doing at the end of the day. I feel like I hate that question when people get in trouble, unless you know for a fact and you look at it when you say, okay, he definitely should have gotten more. Like if someone goes and rams a player's head in, we all know it's illegal. We all know it's against the rules of the NFL. And they give him a 1-game suspension. You'd be like, all right, that was a light penalty. Other than that, I don't think it was too light. I think it says a lot about the team. You still got a month before everything starts. Usually this is kind of Shane's job, but usually I like to equate that to how is this going to affect the team going into the season. But they got some time to recruit from that going in. It's not like it's happening right before the preseason and the regular season and stuff. So usually that's the first thought my mind goes, how is this team going to play now with this impact happening? But I think they'll have some time. I'm going to ask Shane this question. Do you think a month and a half is plenty of time to kind of recruit from this mentally?
Oh, look I think they've already recouped from it already. You know what I mean? It's done, it's over with, and things like that. And here's a kicker. I mean, like I said, $10 million from a guy that's worth $2-3 billion isn't a big deal. It's going to charity, which is great and everything like that. You know what I mean? But $10 million out of a guy that makes that's worth that much it's like nothing in that way. So the team itself has moved on, and they're worrying about what they're going to do. Yeah. But like I said, we'll see what happens. And I know they're trying to make the changes. I know his wife now is involved with some other work inside. And you had to bring that. That was the funny part. You knew you had to bring in a female in many ways into this organization to help clean up and give it a better look, better perspective. But to be your wife is going to bring a lot more darts at you on your back, because apparently right now they're trying to come after the whole family and was saying, how come she didn't know what was going on in the day-to-day operations too already? And now you're throwing her right in here. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of controversy in some things before we get to camp of that as well. But like I said, you know what I mean? To a man that makes that much, the $10 million is going to charity. The guys, the team, the coaches, that's management. That's behind other doors. We're going to do our thing. Let's go and move on from there. But I do think Washington, and here's the kicker, is going to be when camps do start going and they start pulling up these little things, they give you the little friendly reminder, because that's the media's job to throw that out there and see how things are progressing and doing, and how her role is actually going to be going and doing and stuff too. So like I said, that's the Washington team, but I don't think it's going to knock how they're going to be playing this year, other than, like I said, trying to figure out about their quarterback situation. I said Washington's going to be a decent team this year.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you think, Mike?
They won the division.
Yeah, Washington's going to be a decent team this year. Giants are heading upwards. Hopefully, the Cowboys have a lot of problems. Eagles have a lot of problems. They have a lot of unknowns. The NFC East, if you did your homework, you guys, it is down, down, down. The NFC East is like the NL East in baseball. It is the worst division ever.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, based
You
on
don't
the
have to
last
tell. You
year,
don't
I
have to
can't-
tell us that, man. We've
Yeah,
been
I
arguing
mean-
that for past how many years?
Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
If
I mean,
anything, it's going to be the Cowboys and the football team going at it for the top 2 spots. But I think the football team prevails.
Like
I think Eagles and
that's a
Giants are
charity
battling it for
division,
third.
man.
yeah, it is.
The NFL just made
I
that
mean-
a charity. They said, "Here you go.
Is
I
it?
don't care if you win 3 games. You're still going to a conference championship. It's a charity game. It's a charity of conference. That's all it is." So
You're still going to the playoffs if you win 3 games. I hear
exactly.
Yeah, I hear that, Shane. Another controversy erupted this week that I want to bring up on the show while we still have a little bit of time to discuss it. My question is, should American sprinting champion Sha'Carri Richardson have been suspended for testing positive for marijuana? You know, it is a banned substance by the Olympic Committee. She admitted that she used marijuana, but the question has come up: should she have been banned? Should she have been left off the Olympic team because she used marijuana? Shane, I'll start this off with you.
Well, the whole problem is this: is it's not about whether it's legal in your state, in your country, or anything like that. Unfortunately, it's how it's written in the Olympic IOC committee that it is a banned substance to take or partake in, and things like this in your bloodstream. That's what it comes down to. So whether I think it's a big deal, not a big deal, whether you think it's a big deal or not a big deal, it doesn't matter, right? And it doesn't matter that it's legal or not. It's unfortunate that they haven't. And to me, and I'll say this right now, I will say that by the time we get to the next Summer Olympics, you will see that changing in the IOC banned list, of which it has to just be, again, the ratio of trace of how much is in your system that they will allow and not allow, because they are finding the medical facts of how it helps with anxiety, depressions, things like that, dealing with certain things. It's not the performance enhancing in that way of anabolics and doping, things like this, but it is part on their list of a banned substance. So like I said, there's no way to cut through it. It's garbage, you know what I mean, and things like that. But unfortunately, it is written in stone of part of their banned list, and you have to follow that. And even cold medication, the most simplest things, because I've got an athlete going to the Summer Olympics in Taekwondo up here that I'm working with, and the list is 10 pages long. You know what I mean, of banned substances that are found in your simple cold medications too. And you have to be so cautious. You have to be very careful. You got to get all this done. But like I said, you're going to see within the next 4 years how they have to change this, just due to the fact of marijuana being legal in countries, in states, and nationwide in so many ways. And it's used also as medical reasons too for many people. They have to start looking at that and changing. It's going to be the traces that are going to be found in the person's system. And I think that's what they're going to determine.
Yep. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think honestly Shane hit the head. I don't know. I believe her statement was something like she knows the rules, she knows what she's not supposed to do, but she still did it anyway. I mean, at the end of the day, this is being an adult. Like, I get there's a lot of arguments about the substance being used across all sports. You see NFL players get in trouble with it. People think they should be able to have it. But like Shane said, it's written there in the book. If it's banned, you can't take it. At the end of the day, plain and simple. Michael Phelps, I believe, got in trouble for it before, right? I believe he lost some sponsors because he was caught with it way earlier in his career. You know, like
the crazy part is Nike's still supporting her, right?
Yeah,
like Nike has said, we're with you, and we're not taking your endorsement deals away. So she's still sitting good.
She's
with
still
a lot of money coming in. You know, what I mean?
Right?
And next year she's still going to be doing her running. and everything like that. Now, so like you said, is what was others before they got busted for certain things in that way, they lost a lot. But you're seeing that tide change, and that's going to be huge as we move forward for the next Olympics that are going to be coming up in other games too.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but these guys know what they're doing. You know what you're doing before you do it. You know the rules. You're going to reap the consequences until the rules change. Until the rules change, you can't do nothing about it. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Mike?
I'm going to have to agree. Rules are rules.
Yeah.
And you got to abide by them. You make a mistake, you're gone. And this was warranted. She'll be a champ again next year, and she can try again for 2024 games.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I mean, it's not like she was taking some performance-enhancing drug, or the drug was mixed in with, something she was using, to build up her strength or something like that, and she didn't know was in there. And in this case, she knowingly, willingly used a substance that she knew the Olympic Committee was on their ban list. She knew the consequences of using it. Now, I know that she was using it as a coping mechanism to deal with an issue regarding her mom, is what she said. But even so, she knowingly...
That I can believe that.
Yep. So she willingly used it. She knew the consequences of using it, yet she went ahead and used it anyway. So... I gotta say that it is very disappointing. Marijuana is one of those drugs that states are approving now because of the medicinal reasons for it. And like you said, Shane, I believe that in a couple of years, by the time the next Olympics rolls around, there'll be enough discussion and I think enough pressure put on the IOC that it will be taken off their banned substances list, that they'll take a look at it. They'll see the medical uses for it, that athletes are using it in a variety of different reasons. People are using it for a variety of different reasons. It no longer has the stigma attached to it that it had back in the day. So I do believe that it will come off the banned substances list, and the Olympic Committee will take it off, and it will be allowable. But unfortunately, in this case for Sha'Carri, it's one of those substances that is currently not allowed by the Olympic Committee, and she's going to suffer the consequences for it, unfortunately. I would have liked to have seen her in the Olympics. She may have had a good chance of medaling. I don't know, but hey, it's something that she did.
You would have had a great chance at medaling.
Unfortunately, she will not be in the Olympics this year. Another big situation going over to baseball involved Dodgers starting pitcher Trevor Bauer. He was placed on administrative leave for 7 days. Mike, I'll start with you on this one. You think this is fair for Trevor Bauer?
Oh, yeah. He will get what he deserves. He got what he deserves. I'm glad the Mets didn't sign him. He is a total prick. He is a total prick, sexist jerkwad, an anti-Semitic jerkwad. He's just toxic. Okay?
There you go.
Taiwan Walker.
There you go. Strong comments by Mike. I love it. Alex, what do you think?
And I have Jewish friends, and they cannot stand Trevor Bauer's anti-Semitic comments. It's just not right.
There you go. Alex,
you can't be making that stuff happen. You can't be letting yourself slip up in this time and age right now, the way he's doing. You can't do that.
Yep. Now, he hasn't been charged. Let me make it clear. He hasn't been charged with anything. There's still an investigation going on by the police, has not been charged with anything. But if you read the allegations that they're looking at, the restraining order that was placed upon him, the pictures that have come out, they're pretty brutal as to what he did. As far as the assault goes, he's claiming it was consensual. She's claiming that at one point it wasn't. Shane, what do you think about this whole mess?
It's exactly what it is, a big whole mess. And you're gonna hear two sides of a story of this big book that's coming out. And like I said, I mean, consensual is gonna be one of those things that they're gonna try to nail her with, unfortunately, too. And it's gonna be a very messy situation. The man's name is tarnished in more ways than one now with all of this, and it's not gonna be a good picture, good look. The other thing too is, and I didn't realize this, but I've kind of forgot that the MLB can actually keep him suspended for quite some time, even if he's found not guilty of things, right?
Yeah, they have
They did that. They did
Go
it
ahead.
to, and I forgot the player's name. I just heard it this week. I forgot the other player that they did this to for the entire season because of the same type of allegations. Was never charged. Nothing like that, but the MLB said we're still keeping you suspended, and they did that for the entire season. And I was like, hold it, like I totally forgot about that. The MLB could do that even if you are not charged.
I believe they might be, but then you have the players union that can rally against that if they think the penalty is too severe. And in this case, I don't know what the players union would do if, the commissioner went ahead and suspended him for a longer period than 7 days. If the players union would come back and say, well, he hasn't been charged with the crime yet. He's claiming it was consensual. The players union might have some traction there. Do you think, Alex, or no?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't think the player union has anything anymore. I think everything there. I think just they don't. I mean, really, that it's MLB and it's just like, oh, that's our way or the highway. But I just don't think the player union for that sport has any power to do much of anything. I see it. So
I think you're right if that's the NFL, but the players union in baseball is pretty strong. I will say that it's a lot stronger than I think. You got the NBA and baseball as being the strongest players union. The NFL lags way behind those two. I don't have any credence in the players union for the NFL, but players union in baseball is pretty strong. And I think they might be able to. I don't know what would happen if the commissioner went ahead and suspended him for the entire season. If he was being paid for it, that might be one thing. If he's suspended without pay, that would be something entirely different. But again, when it comes to sexual assault, which is what's being alleged in this case, you got to do something. I mean, they're not allowing him to pitch this weekend. He accepted that, but he is getting paid. That's one thing that came out of this. He's suspended. Not suspended. He was given the time off with pay.
He's on a leave.
Yeah.
He's on a leave getting paid while this is going on. But like I said, you know what? You will see exactly what this union, because like I said, once this goes to trial and everything like that, if he's found not guilty, right? And the league decides to suspend him like that, you're going to see exactly what is this union going to do and go from there.
Exactly. But I think he definitely deserved to be taken off the roster for this weekend. Definitely deserved to be placed on administrative leave while MLB and the police try and figure this whole thing out. The police came out earlier and said there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. So they're continuing their investigation on Trevor Bauer. So it remains to be seen when he'll be back on a pitching mound. If he's ever allowed back on again, who knows? Maybe, they suspend him forever. Who knows out of all this? But definitely when it comes to sexual assault, they have to take it seriously. They have to do their due diligence and make sure that, that what happened is what happened. And, you can't, and the other thing was you can't suspend somebody or for like using an illegal substance, like on their glove, like a pitcher, I think got suspended this past week for using an illegal substance. And you can't make that penalty harsher than sexual assault. You got to make the sexual assault penalty a lot harsher than using a banned substance in baseball. That's my opinion. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, I would. It's a little different, these rules and stuff. So yeah, I would definitely be looking at this. But again, I mean, we will see. MLB is a little messy at certain times on things when it getting their stuff straight and organized and all that. So we will see what the union does. We will see what the league does. But in all honesty, you know, you had to suspend them due to the fact of what's happening. And I mean, gosh, you put them out there on the mound to pitch. You'll have more posters and signs going up all over the place of the media attention that he would grab and get. No team needs that. No league needs that at this particular time. With everything still being settled or learned about, you can't do that. And so, I mean, it's a protocol. It's a proper procedure, and it should be done like that until it's all settled. I
agree. And Mike, we got the Subway Series going on. Mets versus Yankees. Mets take game one, really took it to the Yankees on Saturday. They have a doubleheader scheduled for today, July 4th. What do you think about the Subway Series, Mike?
What do I think about the Subway Series? Well, it's going to be epic. It's going to be tight-knit. These are two teams struggling for offense right now. Yeah. And, well, I can't wait to see how this plays out.
I can't.
Do you think
it's going to suck?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, you got two teams, like Mike said, struggling for offense, and you know, they're playing each other. Mets got some offense Saturday, but that's only because the Yankees are struggling. Yankees gave Boone a vote of confidence this past week, so Boone isn't going anywhere as a Yankee manager, despite the outcries from some of the Yankee faithful that they would like Boone removed, but it doesn't look like he's going removed. You know,
I'm not even a Yankee fan.
What?
I'd like Boone removed, and I'm not even a Yankee fan.
Well, it doesn't look like Boone is going anywhere. What do you think about the Subway Series, Alex?
I can wait. I'm tired. I just want the season to be over, honestly. But it's the Yankees. They start off crappy and somehow make the playoffs miraculously by the end of the year. So watch us hit a wild card spot and then dip out. But we already lost game one. We struggle with the bats. You've heard me say it over and over again. It's like a broken record. I want to see contact hitting, getting on base, drive your on base percentage up, drive the RBIs up, which is simple hits. They can't do it. It's annoying. It's like frustrating to watch.
I hear you. Now, the Phillies going over to the National League, looking at our local team real quick. Phillies still struggling a little bit, though they took the first two games from the series with the San Diego Padres, so they have won the series. They are going for the series sweep on July 4th. So question is, should the Phillies be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline? And we'll revisit this over the next couple of weeks. But as it stands right now on July 4th, at the end of the month when the trading deadline comes up, what do you think, Mike? Should the Phillies be buyers or sellers?
Sellers.
I tend to agree with you. What do you think, Alex? Buyers or sellers? And Shane?
Sell the farm.
I'm kind of agreeing with you guys. The Phillies showed kind of what kind of team they are. You know, I know the ownership and probably the front office is kind of hanging on, saying, "Well, we're still in this, but you're in this because it's a bad division." If you were in any other division, if you were in the West or the Central, Phillies would be eliminated by now, or doggone close to it. We know the wild card isn't coming out of the Eastern Division; that'll come out of the West, or maybe the Central. You know, the Milwaukee Brewers are white hot at the moment. Cincinnati's also a good team, so it could possibly come out of the Central. But we know the wild card isn't coming out of the East, so it's going to be whatever team wins the division, which is eminently winnable by any of these teams that are in there right now. But just making the playoffs and dipping out, to me, isn't, you know, Yeah, you made the playoffs, but you made the play kind of like the NFC East this past year. I mean, anything can happen, but you're in a bad division. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, wildcard's coming from the West. The only way any East team is going to get to the playoffs is the divisional crown.
Yeah, I agree with you. So as we start wrapping up, I do want to mention that last night, for people that weren't tuning in, last night was the last broadcast by legendary NBA broadcaster Marv Albert. He signed off from the last time. I want to throw this out to you guys for Marv Albert signing off, one of the legendary NBA broadcasters ever. What did you think about Marv Albert signing off, Alex?
To be honest with you, I honestly missed it. It was my buddy's birthday, so we were out last night celebrating his birthday before July 4th, before the 4th today. So I honestly missed it. I didn't know that happened, to be honest with you.
Well then stay tuned. I got a special coming up for you. What did you think, Shane? Marv Albert signing off. We no longer have Marv Albert.
Yeah, the man will be missed. There's no question about it. Legendary in so many ways, called so many great games, great sports. And it's funny too, is he took a lot of that stuff from his past to use as commentary too, because like he used to, one of the stories that I remember him telling is back in the days when they play ball on the courts, he would always have guys doing commentating, and he would take little tidbits from that to use out there during his play calling in the big leagues. So the man had stories. He was a great on that mic. He always did things that gave you a little bit more of a, especially before going to commercial, that you want to put in and stay tuned with the games and things like that. So, I mean, best to him and as he moves forward. But like I said, the man's a legend, and nobody's going to replace that guy.
Exactly. And Mike, what did you think? Marv Albert, no longer part of the NBA broadcast team.
Part of my childhood, man. He was such an inspiration to me. He inspired me to follow the path and become a sports broadcaster. He was on my NBA Live games, for Pete's sake, for such a long time. I look forward to playing NBA Live just because of Marv Albert and Mike Fratello. He did Nets games for quite a while on Yes Network too. So he was a part of my childhood. And Marv Albert, thank you for inspiring me to become a sports broadcaster. Congrats on a legendary career. 55 years.
Yep. And I want to concur with Mike. Definitely a legendary broadcaster. I think he will be missed on the mic, as well as Mark Zumoff from the Philadelphia 76ers announced his retirement this past week as well. He'll be missed from
childhood.
Yep. He'll be missed on the Sixers broadcast as they revamp their broadcast team. No more Marv Albert. No more Mark Zumoff on the mic. Both those guys will be missed terribly. And I'll throw this out to you guys. Any final words before we sign off? And I hear the sound of cricket. Go ahead, Shane.
I'm just going with the Bucks this time. I'm going to take the Bucks, and I'm going to take Tampa Bay to sweep as well. And I think your Phillies are sinking pretty bad.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up. Tampa Bay looks like they're going to become the Stanley Cup champion, Shane.
Yeah, anything in Florida is a champion apparently. So Tampa Bay is the city to be in if you want to be a champion. So apparently, we'll see how the Rays do now.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about Tampa Bay Lightning becoming Stanley Cup champions, guys? Alex?
Hey, I love it when cities go back-to-back with different sports teams winning. I love to see it. To see it.
And Mike?
The Tampa Bay Lightning, they're cheating on the cap. They're $18 million over the cap. They're using the long-term injured reserve clause on Hedman to cheat on the cap. They're a freaking team, and I hate it.
You're allowed to.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
You're allowed to.
I hate it when teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning exploit loopholes in the NHL collective bargaining agreement to just cheat their way to a championship. Commissioner Gary Bettman, you got to do something in the next CBA to close off loopholes like this and prevent the Tampa Bay Lightning and teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning from replicating this. This is getting absurd. right now.
Yeah, but like Shane said,
Good negotiating. Good
Yeah.
negotiating.
Yep, and like Shane said, right now it's legal, so it's kind of like Bill Belichick there, looking at all the fine print and finding all those loopholes. Tampa Bay Lightning found it, and they're using it. So kudos for them for doing it. But that'll be it for this show, I guess. Shane, can you let everybody know how they can find you again?
Yeah, you can reach me at mentaledgeperformance.ca as well as on my social media at mental_edge_performance. Gentlemen, it's been a blast. Enjoy the 4th of July. And to all the sports fans out there, until next week.
Absolutely. Guys, enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Play it safe. Don't get hurt. We want to see you back here again next week. And again, all you have to do on social media, do a search for Sports Skillet. We'll pop up. You can find us all over social media. We appreciate you taking time out of your weekend. Thank you so much, and we'll be back again next Sunday.
Thank you. This is the end of an unbelievable era.
Well, first, thanks very much for the nice thoughts that you have just passed on. And Reggie, with tonight's game winding down, I'm thinking, well, this is it. My last broadcast, and all that's going through my mind is I have been so fortunate to be doing this. Nice photo here. For 55 years, doing what I love, having a front row seat for so many of the iconic moments in sports history. That's Marty Glickman on my right there. I'm taking Julius to the hole way.
Nice move there, Marv.
But doing it throughout the years with people who are at the top of their game, brilliant at their craft. And Reggie, it's such a pleasure working with you. You're a Hall of Famer as a player, as a broadcaster, and as a person. And our gifted people on the truck, producer Tom Heitz and director Andrew Greathouse and statistician Brian Taylor and production crew, our fantastic camera people. Love to mention all the names, but time does not allow, and everyone at Turner Sports who do such a great job, starting with the chairman of Warner Media, News and Sports, Jeff Zucker, who happens to be an NBA fanatic. And the guys at Inside the NBA, Ernie, Charles, Kenny, and Shaq, you are the best in the business. We'll be hearing from you guys soon. And Ernie, as I said to you a couple of weeks back, I wish I were starting all over again. It has been such a joy. So for the last time, thanks so much for watching. I'm Marv Albert saying thank you and good night.